Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Present. Marshall? Danger. Here we go. No, it's nothing like that, man. But I'm just kind of like curiously wondering where everybody's head's at on the podcast. And not just the podcast, with a lot of the things that it becomes marketing-wise, right? So, I mean, like, what are you doing not only for self-promotion? What are you doing to promote Snowberger Realty Group? What are you doing to promote, the income-producing things that we do? And then what are you doing to promote the extracurricular activities we're doing, right? And it seems to be, it's few and far between. Like, I think that the, say, Instagram page that has been proven to help us grow or help just brands grow or shows grow or has a bigger reach than we could ever pay for, that's absolutely free, isn't focused on. Like, it's only focused on if once again it's one of these going to be one of these things if I post something, right, or if I do it, There's the whole thing where you can syndicate the show by pressing a button, then take your excerpt of what you wrote for the show, and then you put that wherever that goes, which is sometimes Facebook, or Facebook, on YouTube,
everywhere,
right?
Facebook,
and the engagement of that off Facebook is what? Goose egg. Typically.
Yeah, engagement. Yeah, we've grown people following the page.
Okay, and so what are we doing
it's not like staggering
add
numbers,
to that to push people back over there, or to at least to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever they're listening, taking in the content now? What are we doing to push them back? What are we doing to stand out and really celebritize the podcast and then ourselves of that we're a show worth listening to because we are really genuinely care about agents and we're pushing towards those things? Like, why is it that I don't feel that everybody's pitching in 110% on marketing the show?
I was thinking about marketing on the way to work this morning, and I was thinking about areas that I touch and don't touch, and I was telling you that on Facebook, I feel like I can't really find the groups to market it in. So I was like, well, what other places can I go to market it in? And I started thinking about Reddit, because I jump on Reddit for other things. And I was like, well, Reddit, I don't normally think about it, but there's a lot of real estate stuff on there. So I'll go in there and start marketing it on Reddit just to try to get a new audience.
Right. And so, I mean, the thing is, like James right now, I mean, pretty much your job is you're deemed the producer of this show. So it's your responsibility, like yesterday, to why we're handling other things in our head is really to get us together and say, hey, it's time to record an episode, or we were going to interview. And instead nothing like that happened. And we go about the day just because maybe you think that you don't want to interrupt us or whatever else. But it's kind of like in the morning meetings with you.
I forgot about that.
Her flight got pushed back, so
which is fine. Which is fine. But we still needed to record anyway, so we're not put in this predicament because our our people that listen to our show every morning, which I guess can our tribe, are relying on us to put out something new every day at that time. Yeah. Not every day, but every week. And so now we've gone from, recording 3 episodes a week. Now we can't even get out 1. And so that shows me that there's a lack of interest in this show overall, period. So not only do I see it with the lack of marketing and the lack of, kind of like grandstanding, listen to our podcast, because it really actually does hurt the feelings a little bit, the feelers a little bit, when you go on to, like, say, Lab Coat Agents and you see like someone recommend a podcast and then there's 250 comments and not one of them is about our show.
It's always the Pit Barbecue, same thing.
And so I just, I can't stand that. And it's not that our show sucks in any means. I don't believe that whatsoever. And that's not just an ego-driven statement. That is a statement of it's because not enough people know about it. And we have a small little tribe, like you said, of loyal listeners that listen to us, and our numbers aren't growing exponentially right now.
They've been steadily growing. They slowed down because we went to 1 a day or 1 a week.
Right. And
but
so
not crazy. Like it hasn't fallen off a cliff, but it's definitely lower.
Right. Well, what can we do moving forward? It's just kind of, when I was in that I was in the radio show the other day, it's like, they have a different setup than we do, right? It's not all professional equipment like you think. I mean, they're using these mics.
Yeah.
But then the mic stand or they have a solid pole coming out of here, which is easy to do. You cut the circular saw, you put it in here and put it here. Then they have a little, basically an HD cam right here. And so that's like the Mevo that every time you talk, it channels through the people. Yeah. Right? And then there's an overall camera, I guess. But then we don't use it for that show, that radio show. Like that's some other guy that does a show. That's his equipment, and it's all set up for that. We could use it if we wanted because now it's a part of the studio, but that's his shtick is that he does a video show. So where can we take this to be more, to gain more organic reach is the places it needs to be on is really YouTube, right? Yeah. But nobody really, I don't know how many people besides Marshall sits there and listens to an audio file on YouTube. You know what I mean?
It's a mix. It's a hard mix. Okay. Like I don't think it's meaningful numbers that listen to like books. I search for books or search for content on YouTube that I can listen to, but.
Well, you also have to realize that it's hard. On YouTube. For one reason why I would think that we're distributing to YouTube is because we can see it counts kind of SEO towards if somebody Googles real estate podcast, and as long as you're doing the right hashtags in it, which I don't know if you are because I've never audited that, and not to say that I'm the know all be all of the hashtags what's being used, but are you in communities asking what are the best hashtags or Google keywords that you're placing into that area of hashtags when you're putting the content out? Or is it just manually goes to YouTube and you don't touch it, correct? So therefore, that tells me there's no hashtags.
I don't know.
Probably not. Then if you don't know, then there's not.
Probably not.
Right. And so we're not doing it right. Yeah. And so a media day, when this goes, and as the producer, it's really your responsibility to take that from hitting that record button, and then getting it all the way through to distribution until it's distributed, it's done. Yeah. And so once we add video into this, which I want to do very soon, within the next week, how I think and how fast I roll. Yeah, yeah. It's like what I want to do over the next week is really get this to where, we have a desk that's set up really with us three talking. And if we want to, we can go ahead and go do a Zoom meeting of a sense or a YouTube live meeting, because we can do YouTube live as long as we're from a computer. So we just hook the cameras into the computer and we can go from there, and we could do a YouTube live, which would help us stream, would help automatically. Then you take that stuff and then you rip it.
I can't remember if the Mevo has, I know it's Facebook Live. It might be YouTube Live.
It should have the capabilities just to be your preferred camera. Yeah. Catch my drift? So if you set up the laptop right here or your computer, and then you go to YouTube and you stream, and you just kind of like, or you set your settings of what camera you want to use, whatever is plugged in the USB should become your camera over here.
Yeah. But I think you can log in straight for like the app and connect it from when I pull up the Mevo app on my phone, I think I can log in there. And so I don't need the computer. I can just directly stream from there.
Okay.
I know I can do it for Facebook.
What I know that
I'll look.
YouTube doesn't let you
go live from there.
Go live.
Damn. Unless you have
unless you have 1,000 frames. No, it's 1,000. It's 1,000. And so us being our preferred platform these days is YouTube. Yeah. It hasn't been. It's been Facebook. Yeah. It's really been Facebook. However, we can still do things in Facebook, but perfecting all the other platforms as well. We've taken some guidance over the years that says, nail down one thing and stick to that. I kind of, everything that I've been going after these days and all the content I've been coming into and wrapped around masterminds or whatever else is master them all, just one at a time. Yeah. Master Facebook, then move over to YouTube, then move over to Insta, then move over to TikTok and whatever else. And so that's another thing too, is I got the real estate for Real Estate on the Rocks on TikTok. So I went and got the key name or whatever, which we can just certainly put over to you and then somehow just do that stuff. But like, we should be doing a video every single time we're about to do a cast or during the cast or whatever else that I can cut into a TikTok thing. Yeah. Or just doing funny things, or what we deem funny. We don't know if everybody else thinks are funny. We can only tell, time will tell the interactions they get, whether people like the content or not. And a lot of times that's not even a good judge of, what people like and not, because a lot of people just don't hit like me. I don't ever.
Yeah, I consume a lot. I've noticed. I just recently started like actually hearting different stuff.
So what can we do, that's more compelling that get more people tuned in? And so some of our topics, it might be above or not above or below, but it might not be what some people are looking for, being that we're targeted at the new agents coming in. You know, is that a sustainable enough audience that we're trying to build? We should really build for all.
I've always
Maybe
said,
we should back off that totally and just really present what we do. Because I don't care if you're in the business for 10 years, you know, everybody wants to learn something. If everybody's willing to learn, any of the content that we put out or other shows put out is good content.
Yeah. So I've always said it's for new agents and those who are like trying to sharpen their skills or refine their skills. So it's hitting people who are obviously new and the people who just making sure like spot check. Like
Even experienced agents need to go back sometimes and remember the foundation.
In every profession, you should always be like work on fundamentals and keep refining
right, but you know how our business is. I mean, you've been in some of these big Facebook groups
very
to where
self-absorbed people, but
self-absorbed. I mean, I saw that today. Like, I think I talked about it a little bit ago. But like, what would it take to buy you out of the real estate business? And people were like $50 million. Show me an agent making $50 million. Show me an agent over 10 years or 20 years that made $50 million. Yeah. You know, they're few and far between
in their career,
if any. You know.
Yeah.
So
people are so fucking stupid.
50 million.
Watch your mouth.
I did for 49.
We might air this. So
that's true.
But it is absolutely. But the thing is, you can't change the business or who the people think they are. I mean, it's a low bar for entry in the first place, and then you come in, you have a little bit of success, and then all of a sudden you're a coach. You know, you're at the top of your game, and you get to rip people down that are asking simple questions. You know, they're asking certain things that they just want to protect their clients, and they don't think they're a hot shot. And wear a new navy blazer with a pressed white shirt, you know, a sharp Gucci belt, or fashionista Marshall. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get at is that what can we do to start being more consistent, like to grow the YouTube page as far as this show goes, the YouTube page, the LinkedIn page, if we do have one for the show.
Yep, that's already set up. That publishes every day.
TikTok, Instagram, you know, and here's the thing is that one of the topics we're going to get to today is like the 5 video trends of 2020. You know, it has to do with all this stuff is where you're delivering content. We don't have to over deliver. I'm not saying that Gary Vee and those fellas doing a ton of video are wrong by saying put out 100 videos a day.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean that's I don't have a camera guy to follow me around everywhere. And I don't think that I'm interesting enough to have a camera guy follow me every day, you know. However, with the show, as long as we're putting out decent content, and if we're doing a video, you know, for the marketing purposes once a week, you know, 52 videos a year for the show, and the video can be anywhere from 15 seconds up to 15 minutes, or the whole show at 30 minutes or whatever. We're doing things right, you know. And so we don't need the best equipment, even though we've got a lot of it.
We got some great stuff.
Yeah, we don't need the best equipment. We just need to really dedicate the time to growing this, because we're past the point of how many months, you know, I mean, we're at this 13, 14 months now.
February? Yeah.
So we're past the point of this isn't a hobby. Yeah. You know, we have genuine people liking us, sending us questions, joining our, air quotes again, tribe. I don't know how I feel about that word, tribe.
Joining our village.
Talking trash when you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And so, well, talking trash will never stop.
I know. They called me out. I was like, damn.
But, you know, it's just kind of what can we do to get more people involved in the show, to get more topics, to hear back from the clientele. I want to raise our reviews, so we're going to have to do some sort of giveaway, right? And so typically I'm watching on some of the marketing masterminds that I'm involved with, is a lot of those to build their channels are giving away certain things, whether it's to a conference or whether it's to something, but it's something of value. Will people take their 2 minutes of their time to go write a review and hit 5 stars and share it with somebody? Yeah. You know, and then what can we do to provide? They provide proof, is what? Screenshot us the review after it's been entered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so let's give away something. I mean, what do people want? You know, what do agents want these days? I mean, you want to give away a lockbox, you want to give away, you know, a camera, a Canon M50, you want to give away an iPhone, you want to give away an iPad, you want to give away what? You know, And so what is valuable to people? I'd like to ask that question over the next week, is just kind of what is valuable, you know? So we're thinking about putting this show on the air, which is, I don't know, decent idea. You know, people are going to just kind of get more of the kind of behind the curtains of what we do before we podcast, you know? And so, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, I mean, what should we do to get people involved to go over to iTunes or Stitcher or whoever else? Really, we want iTunes. iTunes is one of the most important ones to us. Not iTunes. It's not iTunes. It's Apple Podcasts. Yeah. Go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review there. That will help our rankings out, and that'll put us in front of more people, right? When people become searchable. Like right now, if you search us, like on, what's the big radio show one?
There's iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Radio.
You put in our title on iHeartRadio, we don't come up in the top 100. I mean, the exact name of our show, we don't come up at all. It's one of the most annoying things I've ever seen in my life, because I'll tell people, I listen to iHeartRadio. We'll go over there and just search our name. It doesn't come up. I go do it. It does not come up. So
Radio Public comes up. I've searched all the main ones. When you start typing real estate, if you just put real estate, it's a little bit, it's lower. Obviously, if you put our name in, it comes up.
Right. And so if we're doing a Zoom meeting, I don't know how much quality we're going to lose with sound also, because, you know, I mean, we got decent microphones and everything right now, but how do you get Zoom into this board, this Rodecaster? You know, how do you get it into here to where we can set up either a Zoom meeting or we can do it through YouTube? How much quality we're going to lose to rip that into audio to still post over here?
I don't need to bring it in the board. I don't need to bring it in the board. You just rip the audio like from the other ones, and I just toss in the intro, outro.
Yeah, some of that audio was horrible though.
I thought he meant the microphones.
Yeah, the last one we did with Dustin Brome on my end was horrible. In my opinion, I'm listening in my car, you know, which has a decent Bose system, I believe, is the stock system in that car. Yeah. And it didn't sound that great on my end. It was just kind of like, ugh. But I had my earbuds in. Yeah. Right. And so would it have been better with, sound? But then again, you can do that, and we can record right here the whole time too into this card. So you don't even have to rip it. You just have a separate audio file, period. Yeah. I was just thinking about killing two birds with one stone, but you really don't need to, because everything's in close proximity in the first place, being the board's right there. Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm not as concerned about it being like perfect audio. I think the content is what matters most. And if it's good content, it's good content. Whether you can, whether it's, crisp, clean audio or not. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many podcasts that have been in years longer than we have. They're doing really well. And like one of them, investment one, he does like apartment syndications and stuff like that. You can hear him typing loudly. Typing loudly also. Yeah. During the podcast, you can hear him typing. And so he got a quiet keyboard. You can still kind of hear him typing. Maybe that's a pet peeve of mine, that I want good audio. There's people that like the Tim and Julie Harris one, bad audio. There's several other podcasts that have
since the beginning, hearing people in the other room walking by.
Right. And that was part of the problem having a community office when we were with K-Dub. Yeah. And just people walking up and down the hall, and we could hear conversations, or people seemed to know that we were on air.
Now it's the daycare next door. Yeah. And the van.
But we can soundproof that, in which we will. But
there's entrepreneur podcasts. You can hear like sirens, because a bunch of them in like New York and stuff, and different cities. You can hear sirens going across. You can hear trains. You can hear all kinds of stuff.
I said, I get it and I fully understand. However, I think it's a personal preference that I want nice, clean audio, because I have a different type of attention span. Yeah. And I know there's other people like me. I'm not the only one out there that gets annoyed by crappy audio, or like when you listen to something that's got a buzz in the background, like horns and things like that don't bother me as long as our voice comes across crisp. Like then again, we go back and listen to this, and I hear you two guys with those $38 microphones, right?
Dang. Sounds good to me.
That's what I'm saying. And I have a one of the most expensive and best ones on the market.
I can hear that there's a difference in the tone, though.
Is there?
Yeah, I can definitely hear the difference when
me talking. And typically, I don't like my own voice anyway, right? So people generally don't like their own voices.
No, I'm just kidding.
Or on camera.
Here you go. Here's my new podcast. Do you hear what I'm thinking? Anyway, so
that cracks me up.
It's just, what can we do to strategize with the two of you guys, because we are realtors, and that's the biggest thing, is that we're realtors. Yeah. And so we have to lead with revenue first, right? So we have to go do what it takes first, and then whatever spare time we have, then we can really market the show. I'm not saying put the show first, but you have to realize that the opportunities in doing the show we're passing up by not being in front of more people. And what opportunities, Marshall, are we passing up?
More leads?
Yeah, referrals, more leads, you know?
Yep.
And that's one
Lost
reason why
money.
we started the show, was not only to help, but more likely, you know, getting recognized, and Marshall's got a strong referral game in the first place, but you know, get to the friends he has in that group, and then, you know, broadening our horizons a little bit, standing out a little bit more. And it seems to be people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if other agents know you, like you, trust you, more than likely they'll send you referrals. Austin, Texas is one of those cities where everybody in the world is moving to. And so the referral game, I would love to add up all the referrals coming here a year and see what the commission dollar is. You know, at 25% of all the homes sold, like, what is that commission dollars paid out to people, right?
A lot.
And so, you know, it's a lot of people might not even know that they should be looking for referrals. That's another thing. You know, the referral game has just gotten bigger in the last couple of years. It's always been there, don't get me wrong, but it's gotten bigger in the last couple of years, with some of the bigger standout agents really pumping it up and saying, this is how we've made all our money, is that we do referrals, and we cook warm cookies, and we give you hugs every day.
Free
We stop by your
tacos.
house and give you hugs every day.
So dumb.
We come by and we wrap you in a warm blanket every single morning. If you
I could
buy
have
with
helped you
us.
save $10,000 on the purchase of your home, but instead I'm giving you free tacos for life. It's only 12 a week.
Anyway, so don't make fun of those agents. That's their shtick.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So we're not contributing to the positivity of the
Warm
business
pizza.
when you yeah.
I saw one the other day. It was
Little brisket to go.
It wasn't pizza and it wasn't tacos. It was God, I can't remember now.
If that's a gimmick, let them have their gimmick. We don't. I don't seriously see the value in a gimmick like that. However, we have to have a gimmick like giving something away free to get listeners. You know, so we've got some of the same thing, just a different other way around.
Maybe
right?
we should give free tacos.
And the funny thing is too, is the whole free tacos rider that I saw, or we've seen on the internet, and then that whole thing, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got people attention. You know, it's kind of like the whole, like, we'll sell your house in 29 days or less, you know, or we'll buy your house if we can't sell it within 2 months or 3 months. No one has ever bought a house. I'm sure there's been someone out there, but the guys that I've spoke to that have perfected that program, they've never bought a house. They've never sold a home for free, because, you know, they've built it in to where they don't have to, right? And so they set the expectations. They're not going to take the listing $20,000 over like agent A would. Agent B is going to price the property correctly and
I was going to
state
say,
it
if
in the
the
guarantee.
client wants to participate in that free, you know, house deal, then they're going to price their home accordingly as the agent is suggesting. So
Yeah.
gets more people in line. Oh, my pacemaker just went off.
That's the timer. Anyway, so being more purposeful, starting off with the show and where to market, and listening to any of the viewers that we do have. I've been asked specific things. We put out there that I was going to send a 90-day challenge out. Somebody has asked me for that. We got it out to a few people, but I forgot who one of them was, and I couldn't find it in my chats. And so if that person's listening, I would love to send you that 90-day plan. I lost you. We were asked by a few people. I thought I got them all out, but I know specifically that I missed you. And so all I know that it's a.
So what happened was I lost my phone and I got a new phone.
Yeah, what had happened
and
was.
send me your number.
What had happened was I got too damn busy, you know, and just kind of like, we always say that, you know, it's like, oh, can you do this? And it's like, yeah, I'm stacked right now. As soon as I can get to that, I will send you this information that we promised that we get you. Maybe I should stop promising giving things out. However, I'm not.
Well, I can only see 20 messages at a time when I pull my phone up. So if it's below that, it just gets pushed to the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like, what did I do?
Well, it's like my emails.
Talk to them.
I sent you an email. I was like, dude, email is like Sanskrit to me. Like, don't send me emails.
I know you can see it. It
unless
dings.
it's an offer. Yeah, unless it's an offer. I'll find the offers, but it usually is followed by a text like, just sent you an offer.
See, I got read receipt on all my emails. I know Dave's looking at them.
Yeah. So
It's
speaking of
nice.
offers, I put in an offer yesterday on a house. Agent still hasn't reached out to us.
Wow. Simple receipt.
It's all right.
would sure help.
I asked for Friday about details about a property. They told me Monday that it's under contract.
Nice.
I was like, I hope you hurt yourself. Just go walk her out in the
Wow.
forest.
I hope it was an overpriced offer or full price offer like mine was going to be.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was
overpriced offer.
All cash.
It was
5-day closing.
The annoying thing was it wasn't even that much money. It was a $6,900 lot. They just really liked it. But I swear the little ones are the fun ones,
Aren't they?
Right on, right on.
Been a lot of fun lately.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get out of here. But I just want to talk to you guys, and I just decided to turn the mics on. So I don't know if this is interesting or if we put this out there. But
Maybe Friday jam session.
Just something out there that's a little bonus episode about how the inner workings of, our podcast and kind of.
Someone else might be in the exact same position we're in.
Yeah, and it's just really, I guess, systematizing things. So what we have to do later on is really get together, and then who's going to handle what. You know what I mean? Because we all have to contribute. I'm not going to put it all on you, James, even though it should all be on you.
Throw it on them.
Yeah, it's
getting the graphics. That's the part that takes the longest. Is
well, then become better at graphics, because it doesn't take long as if you wake up earlier.
Or tell one of us you need a graphic.
I mean, how my day starts is typically like I wake up at 5, I go to the couch before the gym, and I sit down and I open over and I start creating graphics. Now I have a ton of graphics you guys have never seen, because if I don't like something, I just save it for later, or that idea is not really coming to me. Where I'm feeling creative enough to do something like that, or I just take things and, you see all the things I put out for Real Estate on the Rocks, but I put them on my own page. There's not too many people from Real Estate on the Rocks, I don't think, that are following my actual page, And so what can we do to grow that? Like I'm guilty of not doing that too. So I'll send them out. I can send them to everybody. And that's what I used to do and say, but I'd send them to you guys and you guys wouldn't do anything with them. So I just took you off the send them out list every morning.
I posted a couple of them.
Yeah.
But some of them are, you already beat me to the punch.
It doesn't matter.
On the group. No, I'm saying like it was already posted on the page.
Yeah.
The stuff that we were going to send out. But yeah, we'll just have to get more purposeful with making sure the content is out there.
And then, the next phase of this is after 14 months or so, it's time to kick into the video. And I think we've been doing, we wanted to get this side kind of perfected first, which I think we've got, and now it's to add video in. And so now it's just a time to turn it around, turn the cameras around. Nothing changes. Now we just have video, and it just helps our reach, our organic reach. And I mean, our reach when people are obviously searching real estate podcasts.
Yeah.
What's coming up? Most that are come up
Investment.
are all investment stuff, Bigger Pockets and whatever else, all investment stuff, and I'm so surprised about how many people, I'll leave that one alone. I was going to talk about
Do it.
Recommend
the CEO podcast. There's only 6 of them. You're done. Recommend 2 if you're going to recommend that one. Think like a CEO or whatever it is. And I'm kind of like this dude right now, and most people want to take me on with this, is like, stop thinking like a CEO. Think like a worker bee and get some things done and get some deals under your belt and start making some commission. Stop trying to build your empire for 1 minute and worry about building up the infrastructure of your empire.
Yeah.
Like those are the podcasts I've always been after is the building blocks to get to the point to where I could think like a CEO.
Yeah.
And I mean,
most people don't even know how to lead people in general. I don't know how you're going to be a CEO of this great real estate empire, and if you don't even have the basic fundamentals of leading a small group of people.
Right.
That trips me out. I noticed that, obviously I came from a leadership background,
right.
but seeing that throughout the industry, and I mean obviously more locally, it just blows my mind. And then the fundamentals, you need to follow this type of plan, like the Red Book. Follow the Red Book. Follow the Red Book. I'm like, why do they keep saying, repeating themselves? It's like a broken record. They keep saying the exact same thing about doing it. And then I look at people and then find out more about their business. I'm like, oh, that's because most people read the book and don't do anything similar to what the book says. Yeah. They just kind of pick and choose what they like about it. And then preach about read the Red Book, follow the Red Book.
Scripts.
They follow that, and they literally don't do anything like it. I was like, oh, so now I get it. Now I understand why.
Well, that's the thing about this business, right? Is that most people pick out the things that they're comfortable with. Anything that makes them feel uncomfortable, they're not going to do. The Red Book, if you follow it to a T, things get real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, when you start building a company and you have the discipline to save money and where to spend money and having to pay for an assistant and do all these things and thinking like a CEO.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but thinking like a CEO as a new realtor, you can think like a general manager. You know, I mean, really. You can think like you can think as a manager. Can you manage your time? And as soon as you can manage your time and everything you need to do in your business, then you can start growing your business. Then you can add to it. Then you can start thinking like a CEO. Yeah. Like I'm never trying to hinder anybody's growth or talk about stuff. I'm never trying to like stunt anybody's growth. But it's just kind of like
there's core pieces you need to understand.
I know, but people are selling products. In our business is great at buying those products and buying in to other people's success, right? And if I just do what this person's doing, I'll be successful also. Yeah. You know, and it's just like, well, maybe, probably not.
True.
You probably have to customize that plan to you, and there's probably a lot of steps that aren't covered in that. I'm sure that whoever that person is, and there's some names I want to drop right now, but it's like I'm sure whoever that person is. Isn't really putting out all the trials and tribulations they went through and all the heartaches they went through. They're just showing you the rosy side of it. And if you pay $100 or $1,000 or $500 a month, they're going to give you that system. Yeah. But they're not going to tell you about all the pains. You're going to tell you how long you need to stick with it.
Luck.
Right. Yeah. All the months you need to stick with it. You need to consistently pay into the system $1,000 a month and be $18,000 before you learn. Yeah. Everything, and then what you learn is usually that, wow, I just wasted 18 grand. I'm not against coaching. I have a coach, like, you know, I technically am a coach.
Yeah. You're my coach.
I don't want any clients. But I don't know, man. It just the think like a CEO I can't wrap my head around it sometimes. You know, if people stopped acting like a CEO for 1 minute and just act like the worker bee. You know, going in there and realizing real estate is a hard business to be in. It's tough. Yeah. And then there's people that I'm sure listening on the other end. It's like, no, it's not.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. I do Facebook ads. I do Facebook ads and like I just nurture them.
I work 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Twice a week.
Well, we noticed like we're going to do a show here in a minute, or we're going to record after this, but. Out of all the marketing things, we noticed that all the stuff that costs money is like on the chart is the stuff that people don't spend money on. I mean, the people aren't doing. Yeah. You know, like he was surprised that this was number 1, this was number 2, and this was number 3, and that all these other things that are proven to work are all down here. It's like because they cost money. Yeah. You know.
I mean, everything costs money.
Yeah, it's way easier to show out on Instagram, and it feels like work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's way easier to take a picture in front of a $500,000 home, take a picture of a kitchen.
Lean up on a Bentley.
Get off my car.
So it's funny. So I think I've told you guys this story before. I don't remember. My reserve unit back in California, our senior communications guy is good friends with the owner of Tilly's. And so what he would do, the owner of Tilly's is really cool, kind of eccentric guy. He actually flew out some of his friends and everything out to, I think it was Italy or whatever, to pick out and design his Bentley, the GT. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know their models of Bentley, just Bentley.
Yeah.
So anyway, he lets our communications guy take the Lambo, the Ferrari, the Bentley over to the unit when we have like some bigger days. And like family events and everything, so people can take pictures and hang out and see some of these cars, because the majority of like military are not very well off. They're like very blue collar, middle class people, generally speaking.
Like me.
So, yeah. So, and it's funny because you'll see a lot of them, especially younger kids, will go in and like get by the cars, take pictures and do all that stuff. And everyone's like, "Oh, you want to take a picture with that?" I'm like, "Nope,
I'm good."
Not really. I'll take pictures of the cars and something like maybe a classic car, certain ones. I think I have maybe a dozen in total. Mm-hmm. Me near a car or a motorcycle or something like that. I'd rather just take a picture of it. Yeah. Not necessarily like post by it. And there's something just a weird feeling.
You have a girl. That's why. That's why they want to take pictures in front of the cars. They're trying to catch women. That's how you get women, with cars.
It's even when I was younger, like I've never been the type of person to jump in front of like that. Like it felt too fake to me, too like posturing as if like association by something that
I got
doesn't belong
married.
to me.
I got a minivan.
See, I take pictures of cars. I like old Cadillacs.
Yeah.
And I like old like Broncos.
Yeah.
And, things like that. I take, but I mean, there's a right across our street here. There's a exotic car shop that has, Aston Martins out front, Rolls Royces, Ferraris, Lambos, has everything. And I've thought about that in the past. Was like, why not pull over there on a Saturday and Sunday when they're closed and sit there and do a video and Instagram with all these cars, right? You see all this stuff everywhere where people are, posturing on cars or talking like it's theirs, and it's not. Like there's a guy in our business that was called out on Lab Coats for renting a Lamborghini. Like everything he does is about his Lambo, right? And so someone had found out that it was rented, and so this dude got blasted. And I'm like, I'm okay with him renting that. You know what I mean? Because that's a depreciating asset.
It's better to rent it.
Right. That's a depreciating asset, and he's not locked in on that thing. He rents it. He gets to drive it. He can call it his car because that's the thing. It's not rented, but it's leased.
Right.
Sorry. Completely different.
He gets a new model every year.
It's leased every other year. Every other year, I believe he can get another model. And I think he does have a different Lamborghini now, and it's just kind of like, you see this guy, and at first, like, people clown him because,
write-off.
Yeah. And so but the thing is it got him in front of a huge audience to sell his coaching program and all this stuff. Right. And so I can't hate on him for that.
Yeah.
A lot of people will, because people will just hate in general to just hate.
You can sneeze in this. I hate that.
Yeah. I mean,
excuse me. I hate that too.
I'm sure people hate our show, posturing, because we might have a show and they don't. It's pretty simple to have a show. Contact us. We'll hook you up with an equipment list. We'll tell you what to do. If you really want, we'll coach you through it. Yes, I'm going to charge you, for our time and everything like that. But we'll show you exactly what to do, what exactly software you need.
So you won't do it.
Exactly. They won't do it. They won't make the time investment. Instead, they'll just hate on us for having a show, And so we got this in our last office. There was some dislike for us.
And we opened the door. Said, go ahead, do your shows. And no one ever made a show.
Yep. Anybody want to record? We'll record you. We'll record, we'll cut it for you. It's just up to you to distribute it wherever you're going to distribute it, right? We'll even show you how to distribute it up onto iTunes or whatever else, blah, blah, blah. And nobody took us up on it.
Use our green screen.
They just instead sat there and was like, oh, those guys think they're the shiznit. Those guys think they're so great. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm great. I just wanted a podcast, so I did it. Usually the things I want, I go after, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised how many people didn't take us up on the offer to use the studio, or create their own.
Not even use the green screen. I mean, to go in there and take some
we painted
pictures.
a whole wall, green screen. Like, anybody's welcome to use it. We have all the lighting. We have everything. I don't want you using my camera.
Just pop in there and use the wall, yeah.
Yeah, just use the studio. And nobody ever did. They would just rather not like us for it. I don't know what the deal is. But you'll never be able to cure the quote-unquote hate, which I hate the word haters.
Well, if you're gonna have fans, you're gonna have haters. It just comes together.
Yeah.
Hand in hand.
Fans. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and break this out and then go ahead and get into an episode so we can get one published. We're late.
It's all right.
We're late getting people out. So it's 2 weeks in a row. So we need, I'd post this.
Yeah. I'm thinking Fridays, just do like a little jam session kind of
raw.
Well, if you do post this, let me go ahead and say that, I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsors. But if you, Mike Harrell, we always talk about Mike Harrell. Mike Harrell's been consistent with us for quite some time. That should show our listeners something, because usually lenders and title people and everybody else are fly by night, or they go where, the what's working for them. This is obviously working for Mike, that he's stuck around with us and contributes to the episodes. He's kind of like that Matt Damon at the end of the night at Jimmy Kimmel show, where he's going to bring out Matt Damon but runs out of time. Is like, Mike's never going to make it on because he never has the time, because he's always out doing loans. Yeah. So if you want to get a hold of Mike Harrell, he's with Guaranteed Rate, which is a great company. It's more than likely better than any kind of big box lender you're using, and especially if you're around the Austin and Texas area. You can get a hold of him at Magic Mike at 88000. That comes directly to us, and then we distribute the information over to him. So I know the people that have reached out to Mike are extremely happy with him. I've gotten a couple texts saying how, thankful they are, or not thankful. Oh, I'm so thankful. But, it's just kind of like, hey, man, thanks for hooking me up with Mike. You're right. He's awesome.
Yeah, we just got a glowing review yesterday. 2 days ago. Yeah, saying like, now I understand why you do business with him and Miguel and stuff. He's like, take good care of us. Who's, on top of it, great feedback and really helping me through. He's like, he's lining up his finances, disability and stuff. But he's like, I can't wait to do business with you guys. Yeah. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for me.
That's cool.
Yeah. I went over there and told him yesterday.
Guess you could say he's magic.
I know.
Magic Mike.
Got a solid
I
team.
told you he
there.
got it on his license plate. Did you guys see his car yet?
Yeah.
I thought that. Like Nicole, I told
funny.
Nicole, I was like, he changed his license plate to Magic Mike. She's like, really? That's funny. Her brother's a broker and did not broker real estate, but broker financial, and did make money on his Range Rover. It's kind of a cheesy plate. I would think it would be one of the first places to get your car keyed, but whatever. I guess he lives in an area where people don't key cars.
Probably.
Gated residential.
It's not like my neighborhood.
Private security
My neighborhood's
firm.
rough. My neighborhood's rough. Anyway, Magic Mike 88000. If you need us for anything, you know where to find us. You can reach us personally at I'll give out the phone number 512-920-DAVE. 512-920-DAVE. That comes in really to all three of us. Yeah. So whoever you want to speak to, typically if you're going to leave us a message or send us a text, just do that and just reference what you're talking about. If it's an offer we have out there like the 90-day plan, that's actually a 100-day plan, isn't it? We changed it. We added 10 days to it.
Sweet.
Because if we can't break you in 90, we can break you in 100.
Just give us 10 more days. We got you.
Oh, we're gonna turn it up.
Right. We'll definitely get you to throw the towel. But get that plan and then read through it and then pick and choose what makes you feel comfortable to do.
So dumb.
That will guarantee our 100-day plan doesn't work. So anyway, let's get out of the studio. I really appreciate you guys joining me for this little powwow up front. I'd like to do more of these, and then video is coming soon.